and new space upgrade for 47,690. That didn't include the labyrinth.
Yeah, this is actually just a financial report. We can develop a report saying what did the move actually cost, and thank God for all of the donations towards that move, because it was not in our pockets. We don't have deep enough pockets for that.
Yeah, what's really wonderful about it is that we set a goal and we actually exceeded it, and thank God we did. We had set a goal, I think, last year for 270, and we came in at 295. We were also making up a deficit from the year before, so you can see how it all played out. But I think that we did incredibly, amazingly. For instance, our insurance used to be like 12 something, and now it's going to be going up to 3 something. Our insurance on the actual building, because we had to take insurance on that Hung Won-ji asked us for different areas. So that was an added expense that's going to happen. So in order to stay here and do everything we need to do, our expenses went up. But then the good thing is our electricity went down, because we used to have a $500, close to $300 to $500 electrical bill every month, and now it's been around $200. Water's been like $19 or $20, $30. So that's going quite a bit down. But what else? I don't know. Pretty much everything stayed the same. Our rental, obviously, that wasn't a full month of rental, the 61,000. You can see we projected 62,844 for the next year. There's some areas we just don't spend a lot of money on, but then there's other areas that just...
We're certainly grateful that we were given a month's rent from the temple over here to fix up. So they didn't charge us a penny, they just gave us the key. And that...
In September.
In September. So
to get ready to go.
As of October 1st, we actually started paying rent. So... So this is giving, at the bottom of the page, is giving a summary, just an idea of annual income per year, year by year by year. And then to the left in the box, we have the bank balances at the end of each year. And so we are, we'd love to have a little more than what we had at the end of this year, but donations are flowing in, and
Margaret has a question.
I didn't do it, but if you take this 297,081 and divide it by 12, you'll see, obviously it might go down a little bit, but we also have upkeep and programs we want to install, and guest speakers and all this stuff that's going to have to be paid for. Our musicians, we haven't given them a raise in I don't know how long. I don't think
11 years.
Yeah, maybe 10, 11 years.
Margaret?
Margaret.
I just wondered, did we have to pay any penalties at the old place?
Good
No,
question.
Talking about that.
No. They gave us back our $2,200. That helped.
Fantastic.
There was a couple burps, but it was okay.
There was a couple of burps, but yeah, they did. After we left them with so many good things like a clean place and a hot water heater and track
and
lighting.
light things.
And
but
it's now a church there, so another church moved in, which I thought was kind of cool.
The great thing was the Spirit stepped in, because the very person that rented it to us 8 years previous, and it was a dump, and everything was hanging off the things, and we came in and did it. He goes, I saw him on the path, and I said, we're having a little trouble getting our deposit back. He goes, you've got to be kidding me. He says, you tell the landlord to call me personally, because I will let him know that I rented you a dump. And I said, well, at least you were honest about it when you did it. So I think that helped a little bit. So Spirit stepped in a little bit.
Are there, yes.
I'm thinking there must be a lot of income potential from renting our space to the guest speakers or the community. It opens us up. People know we're here, and it helps us with our rent.
Right.
I just think there's a lot of potential there.
I appreciate your comment. But right now, we are not going to rent. We find that it would be more trouble for us to rent, and we couldn't bring that much generate that much income. And both of us have worked in centers where they rented their space, and it was a disaster.
But we do
And so-
we do
But we
co-produce with
co-produce.
people. They just can't come in and say, "I'll give you $200 if I can use your stage tonight." Here, we've done that. As a matter of fact, that's how we actually got this place, because they were at their wits' ends, because $100 for a birthday party, a $200. But we still, I just met with people. We still
We'll
co-produce
co-produce.
with them. Or if we say Centers for Spiritual Living presents the Universal Peace Dance, but we stay with us. We do not do any. And they said, "Is this a definite no?" Because somebody wanted to do it for dance classes on Tuesday. It would be so. Anyway,
Well,
we've done it for 11 years and we didn't have to. But I agree with you. Most people would agree that there is potentiality in that.
Also, think about our equipment
But we
back
do
there.
enough Ohana.
Can
Did
I-
you say
yeah.
Ohana?
Makana.
Oh, yeah. Ohana, we do a lot of that. I was
Makana.
thinking it's going to cause more Ohana. I was like, "Oh, we do lots of Ohana, really."
But I also want to say, we have things to consider, like equipment back there that Jonathan knows. So we can't just rent our space and give somebody that, you know what I mean? So that's why we
Right.
co-produce.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's been suggested, yeah.
That's why we co-produce, Anna, because it makes sense. If they want to co-produce with us, then we'll do it. It's like, okay?
Yeah.
So, yes,
Yeah.
Barbara.
Go ahead.
I've been part of a spiritual community that did rent their space for quite a while. And to see the messes that they came into afterward, and the liability that it brought to
The
them for what
liability
happened when they
especially.
weren't here. And then to see what MLK Day did. That was co-creating
Yep.
with CSL. The place was completely full.
And
I'm
it was
sure that
beautiful.
represented in the donation basket at the front, hopefully. But I truly agree that co-creating with the community is really
Yes.
great, but handing our space over to somebody else to do their
Whatever.
dancing or whatever, I've seen that as a real issue for one of the last places that I worked with.
Well, last thing on that, the one that Rita and I were talking about, we almost had to rent to get back in to do a class at our other center in California, because it was so filled. The booking person filled it so much that we said, "Oh, we're going to do a class," and they said, "Oh, there's no room." And they were the owners. I mean, they were the founders. So, yeah. But everyone has suggested that, so that's great.
I was just wondering if, when we have special evenings like our cinema or different things like that, and we just have a notice saying love donations. I know it wouldn't be what we would want to do, but would it possibly be in order to say love donations, minimum $5 recommended?
Yeah, we suggested that people are pretty good with, for the
We-
most part, they're
But the
pretty
thing
good
with the
with it.
cinema, we have to be careful. Because we're not paying for these films. I mean, we might have bought them, but we can't turn into a movie theater where
Right.
people are paying admission to get in. I mean, we can say so that's why we
But
just
we
put
started
love
doing
donation.
that, putting an actual price up
Put a
there
price on it.
so that people would not just go, because a lot of times with love donations, they go, "Oh, yeah, or whatever." And so, but I did notice that when we put Angela like at a desk, and just like the Sacred Earth Choir, they have a little thing with their money basket. People walk through the door, and I see that people really put in, because I guess it's right there. If nobody's there, then you don't feel that necessity to maybe
No,
put it in.
that's
Thank
fine.
you.
It's still, I wasn't saying they should pay for it.
Right.
As we said, love donation,
Right.
X amount.
Yes,
Okay.
Reverend Diane?
I noticed what I consider a small amount of pledges for 2024.
Thank you for bringing that up.
I'm amazed at that because there are so many committed giving people here. I'm wondering if they just don't want to fill out the form, or what
Yes.
do you think is going on?
That's a very good question.
I'm so glad you asked.
I'm really tempted to dump the pledge program because, well, for instance, last year we had $80,000 pledged. If we went according to our pledges and tried to create a budget from that, we would have had to close
We
the
would
doors.
have to close.
I mean, so I don't know why people don't fill it out. I haven't understood it. But like this year, I think there was what, $40,000?
47,000.
Pledges, and we said it enough times.
Well, just
standing in front of the thing.
to jump
So
into
I don't
that.
know. Do you have an answer for that, Reverend Diane?
I do have something to say why I think what's the good news of that is this has been since the very beginning of our opening. 64,000, 80,000, right? And then we ended up with 200,000. And so I have to know, not just la fairyland, but I do have to say that by us continuing to go forth, people do, obviously there was donations that reached almost 300,000 with our fundraising and everything. So what I think Rita's saying is, and if anybody looked at the pledges, they would go, well, your budget says 300,000. How do you justify that? We don't, because we just know that we will continue to do. If we based it on those pledges, we would have never have stayed. I mean, you guys are all smart with that. Who would say, we promised to give you 50,000 this year, and then your budget is 300, then you wouldn't do it. So I guess we're just divinely guided in that area. But I agree with Rita. We can't do a budget on it. What do other centers, like James? Does it match?
No.
Yeah. Anything to do
what
with
they'll do is that
spirituality.
they'll go in and they'll kind of do like a summary of what they made last year in fundraising and
Right.
adding it to the pledges, figuring that, they're going to do that again, so they can add that in as a pledge, even though
Right.
it hasn't happened. So, I mean, I suppose we could do that, but
No,
It's
I
all-
think the way you guys did it is perfect. Take last year's and go with that and go with the strength of the fundraising, just like we did the year before and the year after that, and know that that's the way we operate here for some odd reason. Go ahead. All right.
what
Anything?
else?
Any questions?
Any
Any
other
more
questions? Or questions about anything, too? Maureen?
Yeah, Maureen.
I just have a question about the categories, the pledges, like our monthly pledges. What category is that under? Does that come under the just regular donations?
Well, if you filled out a pledge form, then it would have been on there. We used the words, no, you took it off. What, are you talking about the pledge
the
down
monthly
there?
pledges. What
Monthly
category is it under?
What's she talking?
Is it under just donations?
Donations,
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
included
That's all.
in
Yeah,
donations.
I
That's
know-
all I was
I
just
know what
you're
saying.
curious.
So, yeah, the way I do it in the books, there's donations, and then there's stuff that comes in for fundraisers. And basically, or there's money that comes in for classes, there's money that comes in for like special services like the healing service, but that usually goes under donations.
Right.
So you could divide things down.
Where were those pledge forms? I think I missed it.
Oh, ask Angela.
Okay,
All
good,
right.
thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad she said that because we have,
Well, you haven't been here
Some
too.
You
really-
can always go
That's all.
online, on the
but-
website. You can do it on the website.
but yeah, they're here. But we also, if we look at what we know, like we know people that live in different places that tithe very heavy during the year, there was no pledge forms from them.
But
They
they've been
just
giving
been
for-
doing it for 10 years. They go, I don't need to give their pledge form. You know I'm good for it. You know, I mean, there's a part of us that's very grassroots, right? So people respond to that. But yeah, am I correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And so it's not like I'm going, they're not going to pledge. It's just, they just don't want to.
I can't answer the question, Diane.
I know, it's
And I don't
crazy.
know. Like, there's part of me that says, well, we shouldn't even do it anymore.
Well, the pledge forms.
On our
we're talking
annual
about.
report for CSL, I'm going to ask them, because they always ask you, do you have a pledge program? So there must be some centers that don't have a pledge program, or otherwise they wouldn't be asking that question.
So now you all know, you're the inside, the ones that stayed after, to know why we sweat so much. And why at
We
the end of the
don't.
day go, no, we have a new program coming. I don't, no, really, we do. No, I mean, year 4, you know, after all the tears when you're first starting something, you go, we're pledging 20 with a $100,000 budget. Wow! And then after a while, you know, you go back to principal and you go back to where you're at, and we go swimming.
Other questions?
They are exhausted.
They are. We exhausted you, didn't we? It's been a long
Thank
morning.
you too. You know,
Yeah.
we've been kind of real dealing it, and I just today too, at least I did when I came in. I just want to say something about this here. Thank you, and I also want to be, you know, transparent as we always have been, right, with one another. At least I feel that. I mean, it is disappointing, if we want to use that word, to see such a small gathering for your membership to move your center forward. That's also ego. I'm all with you. But I also think if you're leaders, you need to be transparent. And so in our mind, we're thinking, don't take down all those chairs back there because it's going to be filled to the brim. And that, along with why about the pledges, I don't understand that either. I mean, so I always said, Rita goes, she said, wow, it seems a little low in attendance in the center this morning. I said, no, it's just meeting day.
Well, there's also a concert going
A
on
concert
right now.
going on and
Or
a million
something.
other things going on in our city. So that what I would say, if we had to get through anything as your spiritual leaders, it's the not taking it personally. That's the biggest thing for me
Roseanne
to
wants
go.
to say
There's so
something.
much love and so much support, whether or not you're in this room at the meeting or not, right?
Roseanne wants to say something.
I just would add, if there was any big controversy of what's gone on in the center, this place would be packed. I can guarantee
That
you.
is true.
If there was any unhappiness, any, concerns.
That's true.
But the great news is there's just a few handfuls of you. So I guess things are good.
Yes, people are happy,
Well,
right?
and I appreciate the people that want to move their consciousness forward and
Yeah.
expand their consciousness,
you.
because that's really what we're all about, to give each other support and a place, a space, a safe place to be able to do that, and to be able to say, hey, I want to know more about this, and can you help me, and I need spiritual support right now, and it's just, it means a lot.
Right.
So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being who you are and for embracing the philosophy and embracing the center.
And
right?
I'm going to spare you the survey part of this. The
Okay.
survey came through, and I'm not going to go through the items, every item with you. A lot of it was, more programs, bring in this, bring in yoga, bring in, some of that. Some of it was,
You have it here. You wanted to do it?
well, yeah, here it is. Things like start movie later, and what we have learned also, that a lot of people want it at 6, a lot of people want it at 4. They don't want to drive it. So we just set the times. But we listened to it. Anna Myers was great because she wanted that compassion care team that's fine. People wanted the live streaming for Cosmic Connection. They wanted us to include the deaf community with an interpreter, which I think is a fabulous idea, except somebody needs to do that and somebody needs to head it and do that. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep opening up to change. You're doing fine. And then show clips of open mic night at Sunday service. That probably won't occur, but not because it's not a great idea. It's just that our services are long enough. You don't need more open up clips. And then carpooling for services in class.
That's a good idea.
I love that. More day activities.
Can we stand back? It's the
Yeah.
speakers that's causing
Well, where
it.
do you want me? Oh.
Yeah, more day activities.
More day
One of the biggest reasons, and this is just like a few things. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't like everybody said it, but that a lot of times they don't come because it's too late and they don't want to drive in the dark.
Right.
And that's understandable. And then maybe we could do things more in the day, and I think we should try that. Dawson's workshop's going to be during the day. Let's see if that makes a difference.
And
yeah.
then a couple other ones. The classes were interesting because that's what we were actually interested in. And it was not that, some of them said, I don't know about it. I don't know what it is.
It's too late.
Sliding scale for classes. But we don't slide, we'll slide, but when we have it for free, they're not showing up. So that theory is gone for us because we've been doing this for 11 years. We give it, most of our stuff is donation based. So it's not, you don't even have to slide. You just have to do whatever you're doing with it. But we wanted to look at all of it. The coffee problem that people have, not being able to drink coffee, you wouldn't want to start with me on that, just because all of the centers in the world do not let you bring in your coffee and a Danish and it's a sanctuary. So, but I understand we've done it for 10 years. We're over there and people are drinking coffee. I totally get it. But let me see, open mic is called The Best Kept Secret. I love that. And then, the coffee thing came up quite a bit, that we weren't allowed to eat here, and it felt, that Patrick's scolding me, and stuff. I'm just being an honest deal with you. And I probably can have a tone, but we just believe in the sacredness of this. And then what was the last? And then what we didn't include is we understand that you have some ideas of what you would do if you were speaking up here and how that would be better if we didn't use and or we or any of that kind of stuff. I understand that. But it's not enough to bring it to the community. But we did receive it, and because there's no names. So we did receive it, not a lot, but enough that, you can go, oh, okay, I'll pull that one out. But I understand. We said be honest. But that's not what you're interested in. You're not interested in how can they be that, or you know what I'm talking about. You don't say who's going to email me. It got.
Oh.
It's them. They've been listening out there.
Angela.
So, but we have been listening to all of this, and we respect it. And we followed through with it.
And some of them we're going to take into account.
And we are, except for the coffee.
So,
because they said that it's hard for them to stay awake for an hour and a half. And that made me feel, I'm riveting. Oh, I thought it was riveting. Annie, you said I was riveting when I'm up here. What are you talking about? You have to have a coffee to get through the rest of the service. No, I'm kidding you.
All right, so
we love you guys.
Let's take a deep breath. Let's not close this without a prayer. Let's take a deep breath. I can see we've lost our audience,
Maureen,
but that's okay.
I could read your thoughts.
I'm going to step back. All right. Take a deep breath, everyone. Let's just let all of this land.
Woo!
Take another deep breath. Whew. And I'm just going to give gratitude for all of us being here, for this consciousness called Center for Spiritual Living Kaua'i, and that includes all of us, and how I'm so grateful for the way that we continue to move it forward, we continue to expand outward, that we continue to reach from within ourselves and give that love out into the world. So I know that anything, and everything that we could possibly desire for this year is already made manifest in the mind of God. It's already here for us. And I'm knowing for myself and Patrick that we follow our intuition. We are loving and compassionate and growing and expanding along with everybody. So it's a beautiful thing, and this is an abundant thing for all of us, for each and every one of us in our own private lives, and also collectively as a center, and also collectively as a planet. We are making a difference, and I'm just so grateful for that. As I just take this word that I've spoken with great gratitude for every single soul that is part of Center for Spiritual Living Kaua'i and is touched by Center for Spiritual Living Kaua'i, and I just take this word and I release it with that gratitude as law, and I let it be, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is. Thank you, everyone.
So do you think it's too much to put a pool in here?
Third Tuesday of the month.
Oh, the one coming up?
I'm going to try to make the,
Oh.
I'm going to do that for the,
Oh,
but I'm going to
yeah,
make
what
the
was that?
practitioner.
And then